Hello, I'm Derek Wheatley and welcome to episode 22 of the Wheatley podcast. As always, thank you very much for your support during the week. We had a great podcast last week with Sean. We thank him again for coming on. It was a very open and honest conversation that we had. It was what he was telling me. I was just sitting there doing like the easy part. But some people brought it up with me about it, and that's what it's about. Like mental health podcasts in general is to be talking about mental health illnesses and disorders that I don't have experience of. So for Sean to bring forward what he is, I wouldn't say suffering from, because if you hear his podcast, he doesn't come across like someone who's suffering, but he has gone through an awful lot. And so we thank him very much for coming on, and thanks for listening. I'm going to introduce my guest for this week. It's someone I actually met in Fusion Training Centre. He's a fellow coach in there, and he is the man behind Mulligan's. My guest is Oisin Mulligan. How are you doing, Oisin?
Very good, yeah. Nice to be here.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
On this wet and very windy Sunday.
Week it has been.
It's
been
bad, isn't it? Listen, tell us, you know the questions, well, the first two anyway. Give us a short history of your upbringing.
Yeah, so I was born in Cork, and then we moved up to Athlone, and I went to school in Cornafulla, just down the road actually.
Okay, yeah.
School. I have two brothers, two sisters. Pretty normal life, I think, most of the time.
Where do you stand in the order between them?
I'm in the middle.
Oh, the middle child syndrome.
Yeah,
like
pretty
me.
much, yeah. It's the worst place to be born.
It is actually, yeah.
When you're the younger one, you get everything. That's the way it goes. And you're older one, you get all the grief. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're in the. You do have it. You have the syndrome.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
So you how long did you live in Cork for?
I don't know, not very long. I think it was till I was about 3 or 4. We were moving around a lot actually when I was younger. And then by the time I went to primary school, we had moved out here. So it was when I was very young, kind of like. Yeah,
because my mum is from Cork, and I've always felt that I have a little bit. I think my grandmother, my father's side as well, would be great grandmother maybe. Would be from Cork, so I always feel a little bit of a pull towards Cork. It's a good.
Yeah, I wish I remembered anything about it.
Yeah. Have you been down? Have you been down?
No, not even. Like, I don't know. I haven't really left that alone in how many years. That's the next plan, is to try and get out here. And go explore.
Oh, look, it's a good plan. When did you first become aware of mental health?
I think it was some point like sixth class in school, or like just moving into first year, when everyone's choosing the schools to go to and stuff like that. And I always suffered with my weight and stuff, like when I was younger, and I always got picked on for it, like the whole time, through primary school, through into secondary school, the whole way through. And I think it was like, I don't even think I realised it up until the 6th class, because I was always bullied the whole way through. Once I get into 6th class, then it kind of got a bit more serious, where you kind of think about it a little bit more, and it always got to me, and that kind of led to like always focusing on my body image and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's when mental health was like a big thing then, around then. And plus there was kind of like stuff at home, mom and dad split up, usual separation stuff, and then that all built up together. I think it was just like a big explosion type thing. And
you were like, so 12, 13 obviously.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, I know, yeah. But like, I think through having experiencing it from a young age, and then going through, you get time to learn about it and stuff like that, more so than if it hits you later on in life. You had less time to kind of go through it and stuff.
I'd agree 100% with that. I think it's one of those things that, especially if you like, there's certain moments when you're quite young that will affect you. If your parents separate, or like you say, if you're bullied, there's a lot of things that can happen when you're young, I suppose, that can knock you off. But if you're aware of something quite early, you know, if you have the kind of the cop on to be aware of something quite early, you do have you've built up a kind of a shield, kind of an you know, some sort of an armor to kind of address it later in life.
Yeah, I think I'm going to speak on David Goggins, the person I've been
I thought
to
you
a lot
might.
Recently. He says it's like a cookie jar, just like a storage of all things you've came through, and then like when you reach another barrier or something later on in life, you can always say, look, I got through that, I can go through this thing again. Like, I always do. My first kickboxing fight that I ever had is like, I was so scared. I was
shitting yourself.
Yeah, shitting myself at the best of times, and nearly crying about it. I remember crying the night before and everything. And then now I look back to that, like if I'm ever doing presentations in college where I was getting nervous, anything like that, I look back to them like, look, I got through that. I can get through anything. That's kind of what I like about my past, is kind of looking back at all the struggles.
Well, it's great because congratulations on being our youngest guest, by the way, so far.
I bet Martin at one thing.
Yeah, don't worry, you beat my plenty of stuff. That's why I wanted to ask you a bit about, because you mentioned about how young you were when you started experiencing mental health problems. Were you taught about it in school at all, in secondary or anything?
No, I don't even, like, the internet and stuff wasn't huge back. Like, Facebook was only a thing back in sixth class, and it started, like, everyone started joining up and going mad. But, like, you never heard about anything like that. There was nothing ever talked about it. Or maybe when I got into, like, third year, then mental health with I think Brezzy was the first thing that I started to hear about mental health, like, and that's when it was like, oh, it is a problem. Maybe that's why I was feeling the way I am and stuff like that.
It goes to show you, though, doesn't it, that it does make a huge difference when if it's just one person. I remember Brezzy coming out and talking about it, and obviously I've a couple of years on you. Yeah. But when Brezzy came out, it seemed like a kind of a switch in the mindset of certain people of a certain age, I would probably say, rather than certain people. But it made a difference, like just someone like that coming out who was successful at his job, and he was like kind of an ever-present on RTE. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he was coming out and talking about it, and he wrote a book about it as well and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even actually know who he was. Like, that's the biggest thing. No, I don't know. And then there was, like, because he came to our school. I remember pretty sure he came to our school anyway, and they had the "it's okay not to be okay" cycle for mental health awareness, and that's like the big thing that came up. But it's just that I don't know why that always stands to me when he came out, because everyone was like knew who he was. Yeah. And I didn't, and I had to kind of find out who he was, that kind of way.
So you had, like, obviously in your school you didn't have classes, you didn't have any teacher consistently talking about mental health. So there was something that came into your school, like it's okay to not be okay. Or
it was some charity cycle. They were cycling around Ireland or something like that, and they had stopped off at our school.
Right.
I remember that's like the prime moment of where mental health started to be talked about. Like, that's where I remember it anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's a start. I think they teach it in school now, obviously, bring people in to talk about it, things like that. I was discussing it with Jane, who's in fifth year, I think. Fifth or sixth year, I think. And, sorry, Jane is a coach in Fusion. And she mentioned a couple of times to me about people that had come in and talk about mental health.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant for them to do, and now even like after third year, things kind of change a lot. I remember because we moved school at that point. We moved into like a bigger school and stuff, but they had counsellors and stuff in the school by that time, and I don't ever remember there being them before. Yeah, but then there was people that you could go and talk to after that if you really wanted to,
which is great. Yeah,
because
it was nowhere in sight when I was in school. Like,
even in first, second year, I never heard any of it. It was kind of third year TY where they started to bring in all that stuff.
So, like, just going back to, so you said you struggled with your weight when you were young. Yeah. Were you into sports then, or fitness or anything?
I avoided PE like it was the plague.
Really? Yeah.
I used to make up a mountain of excuses so I wouldn't have to do anything, and I think that's like big problem with PE is they don't make it fun. Like, they don't make it what people want to do, and that turns people off exercise for so long because they're like, oh, exercise is boring. Like, this is my view, and that's what I always think. I think like that needs to be changed big time. But yeah, my weight, and then because people were commenting on my weight all the time, I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not good enough for fitness, pretty much.
Yeah, it's miserable, isn't it? And it's like the one thing you probably would, obviously, you would benefit from, but you're being pushed away from it by kind of ignorant attitudes towards it.
Yeah, I think it's just younger people are just so immune to other people's feelings. Like, they don't know what it is. Like, even in the kids' classes in Fusion, the stuff that kids say to you, you just have to take it. You're like, when I was younger, I probably would have said the same things.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I said it to you. I don't know if you were there when I was talking about it the other day. But my niece Holly made a picture for me, and it was cool, like, you know. But then, so everybody was like, "That's really sweet." But then she called me fat for like 20 minutes afterwards. So it kind of takes away from it.
Or even in one of the kids' classes we have, and I remember this moment because I'll bring it back to him. Like, kids sometimes can be a bit cruel. We were teaching the kids' class, and one of the kids came over to me and was like, you must be good at the kickboxing, you must be good at boxing. And I was like, why did you say that? And he was like, because your teeth are crooked. As if I had got punched or something. Yeah. Sure, look, what can you do but laugh at it? I'm like,
it's funny. Yeah. They are funny, that group, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
So after all that, what you went through with regards to your weight and stuff, what was it then that really pushed you to start getting into your fitness?
I specifically remember a moment where I was in my bedroom and I was sitting down, I was playing some game or something like that, and my brother came into my room and was like, look, Oisin, I think you need to lose a little bit of weight. Like, I think it's kind of getting to that point where if you don't lose it now, it's going to be very, very hard for you to lose in the future. It's going to be hard for you to walk and stuff. I think I was around 130 kilos, like something around that. And he came and he was like, look, I'm going to go with you, I'll show you what to do. And a big thing with people going to the gym is confidence and not having the confidence to go, like, and that's what my thing was. Is like I was afraid of what everyone would think of me, but when I had my bigger brother there, and I mean my bigger brother Owen was massive at the time, and everyone in school and everything used to be like, your brother has massive arms, he's big. So when I went to the gym with him, it gave me that confidence to stick going, like, and that's kind of what pushed me on to. That was at the end. That was like 5th or 6th year where there was no more PE, and I just decided to go myself. Where people normally don't get introduced to sport at that age, you get introduced much longer. Like, when I was younger, I was always on the bench, so having someone to bring me to the gym and go with me was a big part of my change. Like,
that's great, because maybe without, I mean, it's not easy, I would imagine, for a brother to have to come in and tell his brother that, though, because it's such a big thing, and I'm sure he realized that you saw it as a problem yourself. Yeah. So it's quite even probably harder than to mention it, you know. Yeah. So when you started pursuing the what you're doing in the gym, would you, because you talked about kickboxing as well, would you see yourself as a competitive person?
No, not at all. Furthest thing from competitive.
Yeah,
I think.
Same as me.
Like, even like it's brought up to fight, I'm like, okay, I will, but thinking on it, like, I don't have that I don't have a competitive edge to go out and try and win something. If I win something, I win something. Yeah. I don't think I ever won anything when I was younger, and I'm still content with how I performed every single time. Like the egg and spoon race, I don't know how many times I lost that in primary school. Damn that. But yeah, I don't think I'm competitive at all. I'm quite the opposite. Like,
so it's just purely for yourself then? The fitness thing?
Definitely now. Yeah. Like before, like with going to the gym and stuff like that, especially when you're going doing bodybuilding type style training, which I was for a while, it wasn't even a focus on this was wrong now. It wasn't a focus on myself before. It was a focus on other people's opinions of me. Yeah. And I got to the point where I had lost all the weight, and I got extremely skinny. Okay. And I actually have a picture that I'm gonna put on my page one of these days. Yeah. Of me in the mirror, looking in the mirror, and I look almost anorexic. And I remember thinking at that time, I was like, I am not skinny enough. I want to get my abs. I want to get and I don't know, after that I was like, after I looking back in the pictures, like, okay, this has to change. Like, this is the time it has to change.
Wow. So it went at the extremity.
Yeah, it went from one end to the complete other end, and then I was like, okay, this is not right. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, the body image. It's a huge thing. And what age were you then when you were looking in the mirror? I think I would have been in about first year of college. Okay. Maybe just before that, like, I think it was first year of college around then. Yeah. I remember looking in the mirror and just, I'm not skinny enough, and I 100% was like. So
I wouldn't want to diagnose anyone as, but would you? It's a body dysmorphia type of
definitely,
thing.
And I think a lot of people that go to the gym struggle with that. Like, and it's just, I think it's goes back to my past of being bullied for being so fat. I could never get it out of my head. Like, always looking at myself in the mirror, I could never get it out of my head. No matter how many people told me I was skinny, I could never get it out of my head. Yeah. And then just that's what I led to. And then from there, I don't know, years and years of looking at myself and trying to be happy with myself. I finally now, like, I'm sitting at 81 kilos and I've never been happier. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Has all of this kind of journey with weight, do you think has it created an extrovert or an introvert in you, or were you one type before you went to another?
I think confidence wise, I can speak to people more than before. And like, I used to always kind of just be quiet and stick to myself. But now if I'm out somewhere, I can talk to someone. But before, when I was overweight because of my confidence and stuff, I couldn't. But I'm still an introvert at heart. I'd rather stay at home playing my Xbox, or stay at home chilling out and watching Netflix or something, rather than go to a nightclub. That's my type.
I would have said, like, upon meeting you ages ago now, obviously, but in Fusion, and I would have always had you in a kind of a bracket with me as a kind of an introvert kind of person. But once you got chatting, once you're comfortable in a group of people that you knew, you become like an extrovert.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's great, but I think that's a really good way to be a bit of both at times, you know? Yeah. Because you don't want to always be in somebody's face.
Especially for the first month in Fusion. I remember going around trying to sneak around the place because I didn't know anyone. It was so hard. Like, But yeah, once I get to know someone, or like once I get in an environment where I'm comfortable and I can talk to people, I'm fine. And when I go to the gym, I talk to absolutely anyone, because that's like my comfortable place. That's where I feel most comfortable.
Me
I can
too,
talk to anyone there.
Now, let me just go to the advert, like, not as if we've mentioned Fusion enough times already, but we better do it one more time. Fusion Training Centre, Monksland Athlone. A place to train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, martial arts and CrossFit. A great atmosphere with experienced coaches, like the two of us, and a real sense of community. If you want to join the team, find us on Facebook at Fusion Training Centre or drop in for a chat. Fusion Training Centre, train like a warrior. Okay, that's that done. So we go back to the extrovert and the introvert. Naturally an introvert, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm asking really, this was kind of a setup to ask, because often when I think of someone who starts a business or a venture, that there must be something of an extrovert about them. So how did you find, because there has to be courage involved in that, like.
Alright, I'm going to say something that's going to sound stupid, but
not at all.
One of the best things about me, I think, and one of the worst things about me, is I don't think about things before I do them.
Okay.
At all.
That's good.
So I originally had planned to relaunch the page. So I had the page before, actually, years ago with my brother, but we got an awful slagging online by loads of people, because rightfully we weren't qualified, but a lot of people slagged us. So it kind of got to us. We took the page down, and I was like, I'll finish college and I'll put it back up. And then one day I was waiting on a promo video to actually put the page out, which still hasn't arrived yet. But I just put it out. I didn't think about it. I was like, alright, I'm just doing it today. And I just woke up and I put the page up. I was like, okay.
And what was the course that you did?
Sports science with exercise physiology. I did it in AIT. It was 4 years. And I loved most of it. There was a few modules that were a bit off, like the maths and stuff. Like I'm probably never going to use maths. Well, maybe a little bit, like
you'll
maybe
use a little bit.
1 + 2 stuff like that, not X, Y, Z minus 2 and matrices and all this stuff. But yeah, I actually loved that. I loved everyone in my course was real sound. There's a few guys that I do be missing out in Australia. They're out in Australia at the moment. Sure, when they come back, we'll meet up with them again.
What was the driving factor then behind it? Because obviously you had got into your own fitness then. I didn't realize that you had set up something with your brother beforehand.
Yeah.
So you didn't think about it?
Not really. Well,
what gave you the
people?
Oh right, okay, sorry.
I always wanted to help people. That's like something that I think I get it off my mum a lot. Like, she's the same. She does play therapy in Athlone, and she has this mindset where she has to help everyone. She wants to help everyone, absolutely everyone, and that's the way I think I am. Yeah. Because just being brought up around her, I see it, like, and that's, I don't know. I think it's a good quality as well. It's just something I want to do. So if I could help one person, then that makes my day. Like, just anything. Like, I actually, one fella now recently when I set up, he had came to me and he had paid €180, something like this, to a random fitness influencer on Facebook. Okay. We won't mention any names. No. And when it came to it, the thing he paid €180 for, he never received or never got anything. And this fella is young, like under 18, teenage years, and he pretty much got scammed out of his money. There's a lot of stuff like that going on in the fitness industry. I gave him a platform. I was like, look, I'm going to help you out for 8 weeks. Don't pay me a thing. You pay him. Just all I want to do is just show people that the fitness industry is not full of fakes and phonies. So a lot of it is. But and that there is a lot of like cynicism around it for good reason too. Like you say, I genuinely, from knowing you as long as I do, like it's about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now. I genuinely believe that what you're saying is right. Like you do want to help people, and that's what you spoke to me a bit about. Because just a kind of a spoiler is that your mom's going to be on this podcast sometime in the future, hopefully very soon. But she is someone who does check up on you, like as in, and my mum does the same thing, and it's a really nice character trait of someone. Yeah, and I know you're her son, obviously, and that doesn't mean that every mother does it. Like, but it does make a difference to your life if she's checking up at you. Yeah, I think a lot comes from her childhood. She understands a lot of it. I don't know the full story on it, so I won't go into it. But from her childhood, that she understands a lot of what people can go through, and she is the motivating factor for what I do. Her and my dad, the way they work is just so natural. My mum has been in school since I've been in school, and is still studying to get her master's in play therapy. And she'll do anything to get that. She's actually on her last day of her dissertation now, I think. She's just finishing it off. Yeah. Oh, nice. But she just sits down, she'll do something. She set up her own business, so that's where I get my inspiration from, is just
And
in
I've seen those during the lockdown and the coronavirus. You put up some pictures.
Yeah.
Your family, and you're a pretty fit family, to be fair.
Yeah, Mum never stopped working out. She had a kickboxing fight, my first kickboxing fight. She had one as well, and she went in that ring against someone who had 12 plus years experience, and my mum had 6 months experience, and my mum never left that ring.
Wow.
My mum went running at her like there was no tomorrow, and didn't back down. And that's the spirit that I think you need to be in this world.
Yeah.
Just don't back down from your beliefs, anything like that. She's a big inspiration.
Yeah, that's what's brilliant, and that's exactly what you need. And I've talked about that on this podcast a number of times. And I talk about my parents on this podcast as inspirations to me.
Yeah.
But it can come from external factors from outside your family too, which is great.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
And you just have to, if you find those people, you kind of hang on to them. I've got my guru Josh, who's always knocking around, and he's he is he's very much into psychology and things like that, as he's talked about on here. And to find people like that, it could be your mother, it could be your best friend, whatever. It's just brilliant to have them. To talk about Mulligan's a bit, so is your idea more diet or workout, or is it completely?
So yeah, both, and not just that, just the psychological side of it as well. Yeah, is a big thing. There's training programs. If you get given a training program, just the program, chances are you're probably not going to stick to it. That's you can buy them online, €9. If you get given one, most of them are kind of the same. Training programs don't really change around, depending on what type of training you like. Maybe it does. Nutrition programs, they're kind of the same thing. If you get given a piece of paper with what to eat on it, it's going to work for you for maybe 2 weeks, and then after that you're not. Yeah. But the thing that's going to stick around with you is if someone's shown you how to consistently live the lifestyle, or not live the lifestyle, that's the wrong thing to say, but enjoy yourself while doing it, and enjoy the process of doing it rather than just skipping through it. So what I do is online coaching more so, and PT sessions on top of that to give people confidence in the gym. But online coaching is where people can get onto me any time of the day, and I'll reply to them and help them out with anything that they're stuck with. Therefore, I can encourage them, or I can say, maybe do this a little bit better, or well done on this, rather than being left on the journey by themselves. So that's kind of something I wanted to do with Mulligan's Fitness, is help people through the journey, not just give them a piece of paper and say, off you go yourself.
And it goes back again to what we were just talking about, to have somebody there makes a lot of difference. I did the 6 weeks food planning with Martin. Yeah. And I lost, I think it was 5 kg at the time. But to have someone there, if you're just, like you said, piece of paper, €9, you're left to have to do your own thing. It doesn't really work.
No, not at all. And I'll refuse to do that, no matter how many people ask me. I've been asked loads of times, just give me a piece of paper. I'm not going to do it, because that's just not something that I believe in or to do. And I've learned so much off Martin, and I'm going to continue to learn more stuff off Martin. Them nutrition programs that he does, where he brings people in every week, and that's run the right way. That's the way it should be done. There's a lot of stuff that isn't run that way that people should take a look at and say, okay, fitness industry isn't for me if I'm just out here to make money. It's not out here to make money, it's out here to change people and help people out. That's the way it should be. And so is there a specific diet plan then? What do you focus on? Anything works. So specific diet plan is something that I don't like people saying, we'll go paleo is everything, because then you have people against each other. Paleo against keto, which is better? There is no better. The one that's better is the one that's going to work for you. They both work the same. If you eat less calories than you burn, or eat less calories than you burn throughout the day, or that, you're going to lose weight. Or if you want to gain weight, you eat more calories than you burn, and then you'll gain weight and gain muscle. There's no complete science to it. It's simple as I said it there. I went to 4 years of college, and that's how simple it gets, pretty much. So
there is because Josh obviously looks into nutrition himself, and he does it for a living. If people want to take him up in the offer, he says that it's always evolving as well, isn't it?
Yeah, all the time. That's a big
they
thing.
haven't pinned anything down yet.
No, not a single thing. In college, what I went and learned the last 4 years is probably going to change in the next 4 years. I could probably go back to college and learn it all over again. Sure, years ago, the stuff they taught is crazy taught now. You're oh, that'd never work. And people make fun of it. But that's another thing about the whole losing weight stuff, actually, that I meant to say is you can be healthy is a different side to losing weight or getting the body you want. Because if you want to lose weight, there's a way to do it in an unhealthy manner as well. You can eat less calories, but you can eat crap food with less calories, and therefore you're not being healthy. But you can be both at the same time, or you could just be healthy and you could gain weight by being healthy. Do you know, kind of way you're eating healthy foods, getting all your micronutrients in. But I like to combine the two. Like, that's the best way to have it.
For people who want to sign up, then, and I know you've got limited spaces left.
Yeah.
Will their workouts, will it be depending on what they are, depending on their body, or is it going to be? Have you got a kind of a set plan of what kind of workouts you want to do? Whether it's like a CrossFit style thing, weights.
Yeah. So what I do initially is I'll bring people in and I'll have a chat with them. I haven't got the chance to do that yet because of COVID, so I can't like get too close to people. So what I want to do is what I have been doing recently is doing video calls with people. We go through what they want to get out of their training, what training they like, and that's what I'll build the program around, rather than just giving them a cookie cutter program of where you just hand them out a piece of paper with same exercises on it, and you hand that same piece of paper to everyone else. But that doesn't suit everyone because everyone wants to do different stuff. Like, some people like CrossFit, some people don't like the way CrossFit is. So then people that like CrossFit, well, give them a CrossFit workout because they're going to enjoy it and they're going to stick to it.
Yeah.
If I give a person who likes CrossFit a bodybuilding workout with no CrossFit exercise in it, they'll be getting annoyed with it. Like, after a while, they won't want to do it. So just kind of, you have to listen to the other person that is paying you. Like, I have to listen to the person that's paying me. That's what they're paying me for, is to listen and understand what they want and what their goals are.
Yeah, because that's a kind of an interesting way of looking at it, because I have written down here like body weight stuff, lifting, CrossFit based. Yeah. But I'll go into CrossFit maybe at best 3 times a week, right? Yeah. And I like it. I do enjoy it. And it obviously gets my fitness up and stuff. But every time I see like that I have to lift weights, I kind of go, oh, Yeah,
and that makes you not want to do it.
Exactly.
There you go. There's like there is a best way to do certain things. But the best way isn't the best way for everyone, because some people won't like doing it. Like, for bodybuilding, it's like 12 repetitions, around 12 to 15 repetitions to build muscle is what they say. But if someone is going to the gym and hates just doing the 12 to 15 repetitions and taking a minute break and going back into it, you're not going to give it to them, because it might be the best way for them to do it, but if they're not going to stick to it, it's not going to be the best way at all.
Yeah. It's very... And I'll do it. Like, if I go in, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'll have Martin in my ear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but... Yeah, there has to be, and it's the same. Look, it's the exact same for food.
Yeah,
like you can't tell someone to just eat pineapple for a week if they don't like pineapple.
It doesn't work. Like, the chicken and rice will only work for a week, and then you'll be sick of it, and you'll be straight back to the takeaways.
This is the thing, and so what I was going to tell you about this actually. So I was supposed to start. I know you talked about keto there, right? So Josh, don't worry, everybody is. I do it every week. Josh has been talking about the keto diet, right?
Yeah.
And he is right. So he does it. He's done it for quite a while now, actually.
Yeah.
And he gets brilliant gains from that. Like, as in his energy levels, he says, are ridiculous. Yeah. Right. And you can attest to him if you go on and do jiu-jitsu for 7.
Josh is an animal.
Yeah. So you go 7 rounds with he's a big guy. He's very strong, very good at jiu-jitsu as well, obviously. But his energy is completely. It never stops. Right. So I decided that I wanted to do it through the podcast, so I could maybe talk about the journey along the way. Yeah. I thought it'd be a good idea if people didn't know what the keto diet was and stuff. So I've been planning all week. He's been giving me materials. I've been chatting to him. Like you said, I can text him whenever I want just to ask some questions. Now, I was supposed to get me shopping today and be going tomorrow, like getting ready tomorrow. But I had a bit of a setback mentally during the week. So what I did was... I was mature about it, and I texted Josh and told him, listen, I don't think it's a good week to start.
Yeah.
He agreed, because it's one of those things, like anything, any big change in your life, you have to be mentally prepared for it. If you're not, forget about it. So from next week, from Monday week, I'm going to be starting that, chatting a bit about it. The first week is going to be daunting enough, because it's going to be a completely different situation, and I said it to Martin, and he says, just make sure you tell me when you're training so I can come in and smash it. As if he needs me to be on a diet.
With them things, it's like people will start a keto diet and they'll do it for a week, and then they'll be like, oh, that doesn't work. I feel so. It's ketogenic diets take, like, I think it's like 6+ months to a year to actually work, because it's like got to do with the ketones in your body, the levels rise, and that's what gives you energy. So like, you can't just do it for a week and then say it doesn't work. You have to give everything time. Give it a month and see what you think about it.
That's exactly what he said. And I did mention that about so many things, that people don't give time to anything. Like, you gotta, like, I'm gonna have to dig in he's a bit worried about the mental health side of things,
Yeah.
that if it might affect that. If it does, I'll pull the ripcord.
Yeah,
and
because
I'll,
with low carbs and stuff, your energy levels
Yeah.
kind of drop. But surely they come back up once the ketone levels start to rise and
exactly,
stuff
like a week or two, I'm hoping that it'll come back up, and he keep an eye on it. I'll keep an eye on it. If I feel it's not doing good for my head,
Yeah.
I will obviously stop doing it. It's just something I want to change for my body.
Yeah.
Just maybe because I do a lot of training. If I can get more energy again,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be brilliant. So it's something for you to kind of look out for. I'll chat again about next week when I've started the little journey, like, you know,
because it is very interesting, that type of stuff. Like, a lot of people will throw something out as if it doesn't work because they tried it for a week. Like, same as, remember I made the video about creatine. A lot of people say creatine doesn't work for them. There is a certain percentage of population that it doesn't work for. I think it's like 30% of the population are creatine is ineffective. They don't feel the effects of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But the main majority of people that say it doesn't work have tried it for a week. You have to try that stuff for like a month before you even can say if it works or it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, I did that. I suppose that's another, again, all those things that you've put up a couple of videos, I know, and there's so many things out there for you. And like, you know, you'll see people walk up, like yourself, will walk up with a can of Monster. I don't know what you were drinking the other day.
Monster.
but you know, if it gives them a bit of energy for training, it's like, what harm? Now I'll pick it up and I'll always be disgusted by it.
So will a lot of people. Like, my mum does be killing me for drinking them things, but just, I don't know. It is a bad habit to get out. There's actually not much scientific research behind saying that they're bad. It's caffeine in the thing. The sweeteners have been shown to kind of affect your gut and stuff. Which I should probably sort out because I have a bad gut as it is. My stomach is bad enough. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm on your team on that. But do you know what it is for me with that? It's not even because like caffeine would make me very anxious. I don't drink coffee.
I find that a lot as well.
Do you?
Yeah, especially if I'm going up to kickboxing training or something like that. I won't take caffeine.
Yeah.
Like, I remember sparring days, I get so nervous, unbelievably nervous.
Yeah.
And if I was in college before a sparring day and I drank a cup of coffee, I would feel the effects of that later on.
It's weird, and we'll go back to it. Like, that's weird. Like, I'll drink tea, and tea, obviously, there's people, you know that argument, and I hear it so many times, that like, well, there's more caffeine in tea. There isn't.
There's like 15 milligrams or something. Very little, I think. It's
like, look, drink a cup of tea and then drink a cup of coffee and see which, you know, well, I'll do it in my sense. I'll see which makes me more nervous, but I understand why people drink it, like if they're studying, if they're things like that, but I'd never found caffeine affected my sleep, but I've always found it affected my anxiety. So
big time for me as well. Same thing. Like, there's stuff that people take for the gym. I don't know if you've ever heard of a pre-workout. I take it a lot, but I'll take it to the gym if I'm going by myself, because then there's nothing around, no distractions that make me anxious.
And what's the benefit then for you?
I don't know. I feel like if I'm unmotivated and I have a lot of caffeine in my system, I'll train better. But could be placebo at the same time. Like,
it could be.
Yeah, you never know. But like, if there was like a big thing that leads to all this stuff of people saying whether stuff works or stuff doesn't work, is because there's no truth in the fitness industry at the moment. Like, no one has, like, there's one person will say this is bad for you, one person will say this is good for you, and you don't know. Like, if you look up, does caffeine make people anxious? You'll see one side of people saying no, it doesn't, and one people saying yes, it does. And everyone has different thoughts.
And that's the like, if I say caffeine makes me nervous, right? Yeah. And someone hands me a cup of coffee, before I even drink it, I'm going to go, this is going to make me nervous.
Yeah, and then twice as
exactly.
Worse. Yeah,
so it's like a placebo. You know, it's that whole effect all the time.
But even in college, we learned like the placebo effect is still an effect. Like,
exactly.
So if someone thinks that something's going to work and it does work, well, then let them keep taking it because it's working. Like,
yeah, that's actually a really good point, because I've had that chat before with people where it's like people will say, oh, we'll go to the pub tonight, for instance, right? We'll go to the pub tonight, and I say, no, I'm going to be nervous. Well, you don't know you're going to be nervous. You're just guessing. It's like you think it will, but I'm like, no, I know it will.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know it will. You know what I mean? Like, I'm confusing myself in this sense. but my point is, like, it's made me nervous in the past, so I think it'll make me nervous again. Yeah. I might have a great time, but at the same time, I might have an absolute disaster. What will I pick? Yeah. Probably what you said earlier on, sitting at home and like watch Netflix or something.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah,
it's easier. Do you, like, I've seen you? We've crossed paths in the kids' classes, obviously training and stuff. Do you like training the teens in the kickboxing and the CrossFit?
Yeah, I don't know why, but just
you love it.
It's just one of my favorite things to do. Even the teens CrossFit class, like seeing the younger people, because I think it's like I see myself when I was them, and I wish I had someone that like could be almost like a coach to me, because I never had well, my older brother was, but there was always arguments when we were younger. So
Yeah, the brother thing is,
it's different. That kind of, I wish I had someone that was like there for me as a coach, kind of just like almost not just a normal coach, but like a life coach for me.
Yeah.
I always wish I had that. So when I'm in teens class or kids class, I see myself as that, and I want to show them that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just at the end of every class I'll say, how was your weekend? Even just talking to someone, asking them how their weekend is. I'll say that at the end of every single CrossFit class that I have with the teens. If I have a Zoom class with the kids, I'm like, oh, how was your weekend? How was your day going? What did you do yesterday? Just someone to talk to, because it isn't okay to talk to your family. Well, people think it isn't okay to talk to your family all the time, and they refuse to do that. So having someone else there is always a good thing.
Especially at teenage years.
Yeah.
I think, like you say, you don't want to talk to family. They'll see teachers as authority figures.
Enemies, yeah, almost enemies.
Yeah, almost enemies, actually, some of them anyway. But then if you, like, the best thing for them is to come in, not see you as that kind of figure. They see you as someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to CrossFit, and they want you to, or kickboxing, they want you to do the tasks you set or the moves you want them to do. But at the same time, you want them to be able to, like, come to you if they're a bit, you know, if something's bothering them,
and enjoy it. Like, that's a big thing as well, is because PE in school, I never enjoyed it, and I don't think many people did ever enjoy PE in school, and I want that to be changed around completely different. So when people come to my CrossFit class, all right, we'll do certain strict things where we make sure we get whatever class we want done, and we'll have fun in between and make it fun, because otherwise they don't got anything to do with it. Like, they don't want anything to do with it. You even see that with the kids classes. If we don't add in a game to the kids classes, you can't talk to them at all. Like, not one bit.
You had a particular knack for the young, the smallest kids. You had a way to kind of get through to them, and I don't really know what you were at. Yeah. I always think, like, I get out great with, like, kids, right? But myself, say for myself and John and you, right? Just for argument's sake. So, and there's always a couple. They're just
nightmare.
They might be on, you know, they might have had a bad day or a really exciting day, and they're just running around. They don't want to listen. Yeah. They don't want to do any of the moves. They'll play the games, like you say, but they don't want to do anything.
And I always have to go off with them.
You have to go off and look after them, but that's needed as well, though. Like.
Yeah, I think it's just the reason what a lot of people will say to me is, you have a lot of patience. Yeah, it's a lot of patience sitting and listening. It's listening is the big thing. Like, listening to what the child's saying or what the kid is saying, or why don't you like it? It's like, okay, I understand that. All right, let's go and try and enjoy it, or do something else. Just a lot of them aren't in school. They're not listening to that. Like, well, at least when I was in school, it's like, all right, you're wrong. Put your hand down. You go to the bowl corner over there. And turn around, and you're not sitting beside your friend. Like, they don't have a chance to say why they're upset or anything like that. And that's a big thing. They should be allowed. And that's why I think I get good interaction with the kids in the classes, because I'll sit down and listen to them. If they're crying, I'll say, okay, why you're crying? It's not like, oh, you're not allowed to cry, get off the mat. Yeah,
exactly. And I think they're more excited to see you than they are to see me and John. I would say most of the time they are, but it's like, they're a great bunch in there, like, you know, and we do get great crack, and there's just like the adults classes, there's a consistency to the people who are coming in. And you get to know them. They're
all funny. You
get to see their little characteristics that they have.
Even with the Zoom classes, it's the same.
You've been doing the Zoom. Yeah,
it's funny. Like, you'd have the kids, the kid that doesn't want to do anything, but he'll move his camera up so I can't see his body, and he'll pretend he's doing push-ups. He'll move his head in and out of the camera. It's so funny. Like, and I just, what can you do with it? You can't shout at a kid for doing that. No. If I was a kid, I'd do the same thing. Laugh with him and say, like, you're funny. Like,
and he's in his house then, so he's in his own domain. So you have some say in it, but he's the boss in the house. I do think that you have a great style in with the coaching towards the teens and stuff. I do think they really kind of look up to you in that, and that's a great way.
That probably lets me down a lot then with coaching the adults. Like, that's something I have to improve on, is being more strict. Like, the adults aren't kids. You have to be more strict with them, like that kind of way. I
think that's because it's quite difficult to do the switch, because you're 21,
22
now, right? So if you're doing the adults classes, we'll say that the majority are older than you.
Yeah, that's a big feeling. I'm like, oh my god, everyone else is older than here, and I'm trying to tell them what to do. But just over time, I'll get over that. I know, and I've talked to Martin about it, like how I struggle. Even at the start, I struggled so much with them normal classes. Before I come in, I'd be shaking at home before I came into the adults classes. Yeah, now kind of gotten a bit more used to it, but as COVID came back in and I stopped taking the classes, it got a little bit harder. now when I get back into the routine again of starting to take the classes, it'll be fine. Like, I'll get over
No,
it.
I think you can see how they like you though. Like
Yeah.
you know, even on things you see on Facebook and stuff with likes and stuff. I think
Yeah.
you can see how many of them.
It's mad. Like the support that I got on the
Yeah.
page is something different from everyone. Like Martin, Heather, everyone in
Yeah.
Fusion. Like not just the owners of Fusion, but everyone in
Mm.
Fusion. The whole family. I call us
Yeah.
a family because
It
that's
was
pretty
that.
much what it is. Like it's mad.
It's exactly the same what happened with us.
Yeah.
Putting this out, and the support we got from the Fusion crowd is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I wonder where this podcast would be without that kind of
Yeah.
support. And just actually, it's Mulligan's, isn't it?
Yeah. Mulligan's Fitness on Instagram and Facebook.
And you say you've got a limited number of spaces left.
Yeah.
is it?
So I have one more left for online coaching, and I think probably 2 or 3 more left for
Right.
PT sessions. I don't want to get too many numbers at the start and then not being able to give everyone the attention that they need, or not, because I'm learning as I go as well. It's not just a learning process for the person that I'm taking on coaching,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm learning from them as I go. So I don't want to take too many people on at the start. 5 seems like a good number, and
That's a responsible thing as well.
Yeah,
Because you could go for the greedy
I
thing.
could go for all the money.
Yeah.
Have the bank accounts and Ferraris, but I don't know if I want that anyway.
Nah, I don't think you're the type that'd be into that kind of
No,
crack.
I think I'm happy enough where I am
Yeah.
at the moment. If I make money, then sure.
Although we gotta get you out of it alone. Like,
Yeah. I went to America actually before. This is
Oh,
when,
yeah, yeah.
when I started in Fusion, actually, the whole thing. I went to America for my work experience in college, or an internship kind of. So I went over there, and I had nothing but trouble over there pretty much. So I came back, and then
Yeah.
it was like, okay, you're not going to be able to continue college because you didn't finish your internship, so you're going to have to go back and repeat last year. And I had text Martin. I think I text Martin 2 days after I arrived back, and Martin was like, yeah, okay, come back up the next day. And I didn't even really know him. My brother kind of knew him a little bit. And Martin straight away accepted me into the gym. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Now, like we said before, I don't want to give him a big head. Like he hasn't got one. But he does it. He's good like that, and he like a fair play to him for doing that.
Yeah,
To you,
no,
like, you know.
that's something that I'll always appreciate. If he's ever stuck, like, give me a text and I'll be up there.
Exactly.
to help
Yeah.
him.
He's a good lad like that. So I know you touched on this a bit earlier, but what do you like to do in your downtime?
Downtime. A lot of things. I don't know. Sit at home, play games is a lot of it. Go to the gym. I don't know why. I'm just so obsessed with it. If I don't go to the gym during the day,
Yeah.
I just won't be the same person. Like,
Yeah.
even before, if I'm going out with the lads or something like that, like, to be the best person that I have to be, I'll go to the gym before. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, I think that's a big thing about going to gym as well. People don't realise that you feel so good after going.
Yeah. That's it.
Even if you do nothing,
Yeah.
at least you're like, okay, I went and I did something. That's what I do in my downtime pretty much when I'm doing nothing, is go to the gym.
Do you have like did you have a gaming channel or? Was that
No,
a
that's
dream?
that's my brother.
Oh, it's your brother,
Yeah,
was it?
my older brother. He gave up the well, he didn't give up the fitness.
Yeah.
He's going to get back into it. Well, he has a gaming channel. Yeah, it's funny because it's Mully Games and mine
is it?
Mully Games. They're so close and so similar.
Tell me, what, like, because I never played video games, like, but what do you get out of it? What do you enjoy about it?
I always ask this question, and I think it's like an escape from everything. Do you know, like when you just, because you don't think, when I'm playing the game, I don't think about absolutely nothing outside.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm playing the game aimlessly, and then when I get out, it's like, oh my god, that whole day is gone. And I didn't think about anything that like any stress in my head is just gone when I'm playing it. Like, you can forget about the whole day ahead or the whole week ahead. I remember, like, it was a big thing during like college exams and stuff. I get so stressed out with exams. I actually got psoriasis for a while.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I'd actually seen a study there recently, and that's from stress pretty much. Like, from lack of dopamine and stuff like that can bring it down. So during the exams I got really stressed out, and I just found, like, if I played, okay, on a Sunday I'm going to play a video game and forget about my exam on the Monday evening, or I'll play it Sunday evening and forget and forget about it, because there's no point studying all night. I'm not going to make anything out. I think that helped a lot. As stupid as video gaming or a waste of time as it is, as my dad always used to say, it's a waste of time. I find it as it's just a little bit of a break from everything. Like,
yeah, I would agree with you on that. I don't play them, but I find things like films and even going and looking at stuff up on YouTube and things like that. Okay, you're not getting anything constructive done, but you have to escape from stuff as well. Like, there has to be a reality, removal of reality as such.
Yeah, it's definitely fine for a few hours. Like, everyone has them pastimes. I'm not going to stay in, like, my pastime is going to gym, but I'm not going to stay in the gym 24/7.
Yeah.
If I can go home and I go to gym, whatever, get my stuff done that I need to do for the day, I'm entitled to have a bit of downtime and play a game. Like,
yeah, and it should be guilt free, and I know
but it's the famous people that are making it make you feel guilty for it. Like people saying they wake up at 4 a.m, do all this stuff. Right, I'm sure you do that all the time. I'm sure you do.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention any names.
No, you can mention names. He won't come after me.
He might be. I'm on the podcast. You never know. He might listen to me.
I didn't think of it that way. God damn it, he's heard of Mulligan already.
Just that sort of stuff. I've no time for it. Like, and you're putting more stress on people. You're causing people more anxiety by putting that stuff out. Like, people see that and like, oh my god, why is my life like that? And that kind of annoys me. Even David Goggins to a point is a bit extreme, where he's injured and he has a broken ankle or whatever, and he's there walking on the treadmill on his hands. Yeah. Like, have a bit of downtime, relax, and enjoy life. You're not enjoying life that way.
I've had the rows about this before, about people like that who are the extreme, say extreme athletes or whatever they are, whether it's the Navy SEALs. Sometimes it's a bit much for me. I think. Yeah. I think it's deadly that they can run all in the deserts for however
100
long.
miles.
Yeah, 100 miles. And like it's fascinating how the body can do that. I understand those things, but what I don't like the kind of the Goggins I don't think falls in the same bracket as the guy Jocko, where there's a certain amount of aggressive.
I've seen him on Joe Rogan's podcast. I was just listening to it there.
Were you? Yeah.
Jocko Willens or something.
Jocko Willens, I think his name. Yeah, Josh is a big fan of him, but I just think like. Just calm down a bit, like
you have to enjoy life as well. Like,
get your point across, but like don't be.
Seeing it on Facebook, everything. I think that's what a big problem is with people feeling anxiety. Like, see people with these cars, like work your butt off and all this stuff. Is like, okay, but we're not going to be able to do that 24/7 because you're going to burn yourself out. You're allowed to enjoy life. Don't feel bad about it. Yeah, if you work yourself to the bone, you've done it and I've done it. You're miserable the next day because you're depleted completely, and then that's not enjoyable. So, like you said, and then there will be a point when you have all that money and you haven't enjoyed yourself, and then you're going to go enjoy yourself, and then that's when things get out of hand. And I think that's why a lot of famous people get famous for a while and lose all their money, is because they weren't allowed to enjoy themselves. Like Michael Jackson wasn't allowed to enjoy his childhood for multiple different reasons, but still.
Shouldn't have been allowed to enjoy his adulthood. What's the you mentioned Michael? It's 2 names. We've dropped 4 or 5.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't mention anyone's name at the start.
No, but I thought you meant locals. Like, what's the long-term goal then for Mulligan's? What's the?
I don't know. This
at the moment, like you were happy with the 5.
Yeah, spread the. Honestly, the reason why I put out the videos and everything is just stop there being that fake, phony stuff in the fitness industry where people are trying to sell you lies and sell you everything under the sun. I don't even know, like cream if you rub on your arm that burns fat, or if you wrap this silica gel or whatever stuff. If you wrap it around your arm, you're going to lose weight. Just stuff like that. I don't want to promote. I want to show people the truth behind it. Like, that's the main thing.
Look, that's the best reasons for doing it. Yeah, and there's not. Look, it wouldn't be as bad. The whole industry wouldn't be as messed up as it is if everybody was doing it for those reasons. Yeah. But there's
always going to be a few anyway at the end of the day. But like the people who are at the top, most of them are that way. Yeah. Like, and then coming back to body image, steroids is a huge thing where people are like dishonest about taking steroids and then looking a sort of way, and then they don't see like this trouble that went into taking all the water out of their body to look like that. People don't look like that 24/7. Don't be worried about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't compare your day 1 to someone else's day 365.
It's true, yeah. I actually think Josh mentioned about that before as well. It's that weird idea that we get that if we work out hard for 4 weeks and we diet, we're going to look exactly like the Rock or something.
4 weeks, you probably shouldn't see any changes if you're doing it properly. 6 weeks, then maybe you should see changes.
1 or 2
4 weeks. 4-week transformations is something I disagree with also.
Yeah. Well, you've studied it. Like, that's the thing. I haven't, and I can only go by what you're saying. You're 22, okay? So when I was 22, oh God, I can't even remember. No, when I was 22, right, I had no direction, right? I had no idea what I wanted to do or what I was going to do. So you have Mulligan's now, which is brilliant. Outside of that, is there anything else that you'd like to do? Like, it doesn't have to be like a dream scenario. It could be something that's actually attainable. Or is this just something that you want to focus on now and you're enjoying it?
Buying my mum a house and a car that we can just have. Like, just
nice.
Buy her stuff that she never got, that she's working towards now, and just live happy. Like, not have my mum, dad stressing about money. Yeah. Stuff like that. I hate that. That's something that comes back to me all the time. It's like, if I do this and I do it right, I won't have them struggling about money.
Well, that's the most selfless answer I've ever gotten on the show. So well done on that. Jesus, that's a great answer, and fair play to you for that, because
Well, people still ask me, is like, do you know what you want to do in life? I'm like, no. And the whole way through college, I didn't even know if I wanted to be there, but I did it. As I said, I think the worst quality about me and the best quality is I don't think about things before I do them, and I just do them. How many times my guidance counsellor in sixth year the 6th year said to me, he was like, I don't think you should do sports science, and I was so obsessed with sports, I was like, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm not even going to think about it, I'm just going to do it.
Well, I think you made the right decision in the long run. Like, you know,
funny. And even like, I remember there's one more thing I'll mention actually.
Go for it.
When I was on the way home in 2nd year of college, I was on the way home in the bus. I can't remember who I was standing beside. I was standing beside one of my friends anyway. I think it could have been Craig. And we were getting the bus out to my house anyway, or I was getting the bus out to Craig. Yeah. He's one of the ones out in Australia now. And this woman was just standing beside me, and I was saying to Craig, I was like, I think I'm going to drop out. I think I'm finished with the college. Like, I don't know what I want to do, and I'm struggling at the moment. And a random woman came up to me, I was like, no, if I still see her to this day, and I'll give her a wave. I don't even know if she knows me. She probably thinks this is weird. I was waving at me, like, and I was like, she said to me, is like, no, you're not dropping out of college. Don't do it. Like, that's one of my biggest regrets. Don't do it. And to this day, I'm like, okay, I'm not. I'm just going to stick it through. No matter what happens, just stick it through. And I come back to that all the time.
Do you think you'd ever mention it to her?
If I saw her again,
if you were standing close to her, I don't mean run after
I
her.
might say now, especially since I finised. I'd say thanks to her, like, definitely, because I think back to that all the time. I only said it to someone recently as well. They asked me about, I think it was last day in the gym. They asked me what I wanted to do, and I brought that up as well. It's like, that's a big thing. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I still not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm just taking the path that life brings to me. Like, kind of.
Well, if you, especially with the way you look at things, like, you're not going to just or that you don't think about it beforehand.
Yeah,
that it's one of those things. Maybe it's just going to work out for you. That you're one of the people that's going to work.
Later on in life, looking back at this podcast, I'll be like, that's why you did everything wrong, because you didn't think about anything before you did it. But you know, I'm happy the way I do it now. I just keep doing that.
Keep doing it. Keep doing your thing. Any questions for me?
Not really, no.
Yes.
First time ever.
I'm actually gonna.
I was so nervous about all the questions I was going to be asked. I didn't have a chance to even think about what to ask you.
It's getting harder now because people are coming on. They're asking me about stuff, and actually, sorry, I'll just say now, if anybody does have any questions for the podcast to answer, or even if they have any suggestions about people to come on, just send us a message on Facebook or wherever, Instagram, and we'll get back to you.
Maybe I do. I don't know if you got asked this question already, right? Maybe don't even bother answering. Did you enjoy lockdown?
Yeah, do you know what? Actually, we mentioned it there the other week.
Is that the one you got asked twice already?
No, I asked it.
Okay.
Right. So, and this is kind of an interesting one because I did enjoy it, probably more than a lot of people would. But I'll answer it a different way. I'm very nervous about it being over. Yeah. Right. So I talked to you. We were talking before we came on about training coming back tomorrow, which is we can't wait for. Jiu-jitsu's back, kickboxing, all these things are back, right? And I think I'm looking forward to that side of it. But I'm very anxious about going into town.
I was in town last day and it was crazy. Even myself, I felt myself. I was like, oh, that's a bit crazy.
And where were you? Down the Gold Line?
And the lines into every shop, and like when you're waiting in the line, maybe it's not anxiety about getting sick for me more so, because I know I'll be okay. But it's like, I'm waiting in this line and I don't want to do anything wrong, because if I step forward too far, then he'll say it.
That's it. Yeah. So that's my anxieties as well. It's like the social interaction that has to happen around it, and like that thing about stepping forward or you're not far enough away, whatever it is. It's like, it's not about getting the virus. It's a lot of other different factors around it. Yeah. And I'm quite nervous about things just starting to open up now. I do think it's the right idea. I'm not saying I think it's gone on long enough. At some point, like, it has to be. But I will be probably struggle with it now because I've become almost institutionalized.
Yeah, that's what I feel as well. It's like, if you spend so long inside your house and you're not talking to people or stuff like that, it almost becomes normal. And then when you do go out to talk to people, the anxiety is 100 times worse.
It is.
Even for me, for like a year of college, I just didn't go out. I was like, I think I had a girlfriend at the time. I won't say I just didn't go out. I had a girlfriend at the time, so I didn't go out. And then when I was going out again, I was like, anxiety hits. It's like, I haven't done this in ages. It's like, you learn over time, stuff like that. It goes away.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very tough for a lot of people. I think there's going to be some spikes in the mental health sector now, because there's people who were struggling going into it.
Yeah.
There's going to be people struggling more coming out of it.
Yeah.
And not just the people who are struggling going into it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's been breeding more anxiety issues or depression or whatever it is, and that's just on the mental health side of things. There's a lot of other stuff like, you know, physical domestic abuse and things like that. You know,
as well, numbers of that went up.
Like Jesus, what are we going to deal with, and how long it's going to take? Like so I'm can't wait to start jiu-jitsu again, but yeah, I'm a bit nervous about just opening up.
Yeah,
you know, but
the positives maybe to the whole lockdown of things, maybe it helps some people think through, because in normal day life you don't get enough time to think through your own mental health and stuff like that. Most of the time you're running around the place. As I said, I don't think about stuff before I do them, so I'm running around the place. I don't think about stuff before I do them. I don't really get a chance to think about my own mental health, but during the time you had a lot of free time, a lot of time not to do anything, and a lot of time to just sit and think. It's like, okay, when I get back out, I want to do this differently, or try and be less nervous and try cope with things a bit better. I think that's one big thing that might help some people reduce their anxiety and stuff like that. I
agree, and I also think that people found maybe started up older hobbies that they used to do, and that helps with mental health in general. If you're someone who used to draw, or someone who used to, you know, play guitar or something, these things do help. So
Joanne started her singing thing, didn't she?
She set up
class,
like. So that's the thing about it. It's like all these people, like I started playing guitar more, and I hadn't played it in a good while.
I seen something class on Facebook. It was like the last time we were in like a depression stage in the world like this. Netflix, Spotify, all this stuff was invented.
Really?
It's crazy, like, yeah.
Wow, we'll probably get something.
I must find that picture.
Yeah, hopefully it's not Netflix. I hope it's not another Facebook, but we could do without that. But yeah, look, that's been very good. Thank you very much, Oisin.
No bother at all.
I really appreciate it.
I've enjoyed it as well. It's good to be able to speak to someone. It doesn't feel like I'm speaking to an audience of people, but even it feels like I'm just having a one-on-one conversation with you. And even it's good for me to like digest my own thoughts, because in my own head maybe I don't have time to do it like all the time.
I like the thing about the episodes so far is I've always taken a kind of a satisfaction that the guest has enjoyed themselves, and that they've come off going, oh, I could love to do that again, like, you know, because it's if they didn't enjoy themselves, then it affected their mental health. That's the whole opposite of what we want to do.
The future guests, don't even bother being nervous.
Don't worry about your nerves.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't help you.
No, I honestly, it's obviously completely natural, and everybody who's coming here kind of said the same thing.
Yeah,
but they've just been into it straight away, and it's been fine, you know. Listen, I got through this actually. Sorry. So yeah, listen, I just want to do the admin, the boring bit. So I want to say thank you to John as always. To his family, and to Megan, to Jer, my mum, my dad, my grandfather. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Weekly Wheatley. We're on Facebook, The Weekly Wheatley. Instagram is, what is that? Wheatley, The Weekly. And Twitter is Wheatley_ there, but you'll obviously get The Weekly Wheatley there. We're on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, etc.
I'm joined the Discord server.
Yeah, look at that now.
Oh, you have it there.
I've got a highlight. Join the Discord server. Oisin is over there on it. It's just music, photos. Like I said before, music. If you need to get onto it, send me a message. Send Oisin a message. Send John a message. There's 19-20 of us on it so far, so looking to get it going there.
Good crack.
Yeah, it is. It's enjoyable. I like kind of sharing stuff, and the fact that I don't do the Saturday live stuff anymore. Yeah, that's my kind of way to kind of get it out there. Obviously, everybody, thanks for listening as always. It's episode 22. Is mad, you know, to think about it. It's just crazy.
I'll get my shout out list now.
Shout
out to the Mulligan family.
You are going to get a shout out. You're the first person who's asked for one, so yeah, you can actually shout out anyone.
I just shout out my family. I love every single one of you, and nice. Thanks to all my friends who supported me with the page and everything. Like, it's unbelievable. And almost the first day when I put it out, and all the people that shared it, I was almost crying in my room with the people that shared it. Like, people that you wouldn't even think. Yeah, and you're like, oh my god. Thanks so much. You know what I mean? Know how much it means to me. Thanks a million. Yeah. I second that. Mulligan's page was everywhere on my feed. I thought that.
It was just everywhere. I was like, Jesus.
I think first day I had on my Instagram, so if someone tags you can repost it, like, and I think I had like 25 reposts, and I was like, people are gonna hate me because of this, but I respect and I appreciate absolutely everyone that did it for me. Like,
people are cool for those things, to be fair.
Like, I always thought before, well, this is from the past experience of when I set up the Mulligan's page with my brother, and we were getting absolutely slaughtered for doing it.
Yeah.
Just off random people anyway. I was always like, oh, people don't want to see you succeed, and whenever you try something, they don't. There is that bunch of people that do. You just need to have a look and see people around you who are really there for you. Like, the people who are really there for you will always be there for you.
Exactly. They will. And I've learned from this podcast on Facebook and stuff, that's the truth. And to Oisin's mother, I'll be in touch. We'll set up a meeting. It'll be a bit of crack.
That's the first time someone has said that to me, and I haven't been annoyed about them saying it.
Raging. Listen, thanks a million, Oisin, again. It was great. And thanks everybody out there for listening. We'll be about this. You'll hear this on Wednesday, obviously, but
Wednesday is a beautiful day.
It'll be a gorgeous day because this is coming out. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Bye.